Hello. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Amherst. I'm Reverend Michelle Buheit, the minister of this congregation. We are so glad you have chosen to join us in worship. Please see our website, uuamherst.org, or the emailed weekly update for opportunities to connect and grow your soul. Today is our beloved community Thanksgiving service. The service is divided into 3 segments: gratitude, abundance, and reciprocity. Our ability to feel and communicate gratitude is what makes it possible for us to recognize the abundance all around us. Reciprocity is our response to that abundance and our desire to participate in it. Gratitude, abundance, and reciprocity. Let us begin. We begin our worship with the lighting of the chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
Hello, my name is Kim Diana Connolly, and among other ways that I'm lovingly connected with UU Amherst, I am part of the UU Amherst Planet Thursday initiative. Beginning this week, we will begin our worship together with an acknowledgement and word of gratitude for the land upon which our church rests. The Unitarian Universalist Church of Amherst sits on 11 acres of land that once belonged to the Seneca Nation, one of the tribes that make up the Haudenosaunee. We honor the sovereignty of the 6 nations, the Mohawk, Cayuga, Onondaga, Oneida, Seneca, and Tuscarora. The land belonged to the Haudenosaunee, not because they had deeds and lived or other legal proof of ownership, but because they were born to the land. They had lived in relation to it. They hunted game, planted corn, beans, and squash, the 3 sisters. They harvested medicinal plants, and they understood that reciprocity is the core of existence. Today, we do not glamorize the early stewards of the land. We simply acknowledge and give gratitude sorry about that, that's my dog. Give gratitude for the lives they lived and the relationship they cultivated and nourished. We are heirs of deep connection. And so we say thank you, or Nyahweh in the Seneca language. We ask forgiveness on behalf of our ancestors as well as ourselves. And we covenant to live with respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. We give away our gratitude for the beauty and the resiliency of this lovely planet that birthed us, nourishes and sustains us, and that will receive us back when life has used us up.
Gratitude. Our opening words are by Eugene Pickett. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations, we give thanks this day. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, we give thanks this day. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, we give thanks this day. For our community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, we give thanks this day. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, we give thanks this day. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom. We give thanks this day. For human liberty and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose, we give thanks this day. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds.
Good morning. Last year, our UU Amherst All activities were part of an ongoing effort within our congregation to become more integrated multi-generationally. Each first Sunday, we engaged in a different activity. Last October, you may remember being surprised by colorful mandalas decorating each table in the Emerson room during coffee hour. And just show you those. So pretty. In November, we learned songs with longtime UU Amherst church friend and local folk musician, Kathy Moriarty. In December, we made wreaths out of natural found objects. In January, we made scarves for visitors to our little free pantry. February's activity was creating talking pieces for restorative circles from yarn, beads, and plastic straws that we wanted to use up. Then on March 1st, we reintroduced the Coming of Age soup sale with a great turnout and successful fundraising effort. And then our April activity was not to be. Yet we are so grateful to the families and adults whose participation enriched our whole church life as we moved more as we move more toward the direction of everything for everyone. Even if you didn't create, but enjoyed the creative efforts of your fellow church friends, you were participating. During the rest of March and moving forward, as we adjusted to our new way of virtual everything and regrouped over the summer to begin a new church year, we didn't want to lose sight of this longing to become more wholly integrated. Thinking in terms of what people could keep up with during this ongoing collective trauma of the pandemic, our first activity was kept simple on purpose. Please enjoy the results of our Gratitude Pumpkin Project.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All those places had their moments with lovers and friends. I still recall, some are dead and some are living. They are still in my life, I miss them all. But of all those friends and lovers and times I've shared with you, all those memories lose their meaning when I think of life as something new. Still I know I'll never lose my affection for people and things beyond recall. I will often think about them. They're still in my life, I thank them all. Still I know I'll never lose all my affection for people and things beyond recall. I will often think about them. They're still in my life, I thank them all. You're still in my life, I love you all.
Abundance. Cultivating a grateful heart creates the capacity to recognize abundance in our lives. But in the lineup of gratitude, abundance, and reciprocity, perhaps it seems like abundance should get top billing. We experience abundance, and from that fullness, express gratitude. I'm not sure it works that way. It is my experience that we must prepare our hearts to recognize abundance, and we do that by cultivating an attitude of gratitude. I know, that sounds trite. Anything that rhymes is doomed to be perceived as either trite or excerpted from Dr. Seuss. But there is something to this intentional attitude adjustment. Too often, it takes a major disruption in our lives to slow us down enough to appreciate the present moment. In July, following a surgery to partially remove a mass behind his left eye, my father was sent home to live his final days with my husband and me. The prognosis was 6 to 12 months. In the warmth of summer, we sat in the shade of the maple tree in our backyard. As summer turned to fall, we spent more time indoors, playing Scrabble, and when it became too hard to recognize letters, switched to Rummikub. We watched Sherlock Holmes and all of the seasons of Manifest and Schitt's Creek. Things got incrementally harder, and we adjusted. Finally, we crossed that threshold where we couldn't manage it alone, and my dad went to the hospice facility, and 2 days later, he was gone. We thought we had 6 to 12 months. we had 3. Had we not celebrated with gratitude the good days, we would have been overwhelmed by the abundance of all that was hard. Gratitude had to come first. Then we could recognize the abundance of love and deal with the abundance of pain. Living our lives with our hands outstretched, ready to receive with gratitude, means that we are slightly more prepared for an abundance of grief as well as joy. The place of beginning is gratitude. When our hands are raised in blessing, outstretched to include all of life, then we are able to receive from the abundance all around us. And from that abundance, we share. That attitude of gratitude is a step in faith, trusting that what is ours will come to us, our portion of joy and woe. Where there is faith, there is the peace of knowing we have opened ourselves to love. Where there is peace, there is the blessing of being held by a love that transcends our ability to comprehend. And where there is love, there is God. And where there is God, there is no need.
About 10 years ago, around the same time as I joined this beloved faith community, I met a beautiful human being whose life ambition is to grow and share seeds. This is from fellow UU, Petra Page Mann, co-creator of Fruition Seeds in Naples, New York. As we finish cleaning untold thousands of sunflower seeds to share with you, I'm remembering one of my favorite moments of summer with one of my favorite sunflowers called Evening Colors. Dawn was rising as I was watching a family of song sparrows navigate their branches, foraging and feasting on the soft and invertebrate bodies of caterpillars, also having breakfast among the blossoms. The mother was only slightly larger than her children by July, but her calm, exacting movements clearly demonstrated her honed skills, deftly capturing and whacking one insect after another as her protégés fumbled along after her. She would patiently offer her quarry to them, letting them squirm as their caterpillars squirmed, letting them learn slowly the quick grace of slipping an insect straight down a throat. That dance of life and death, of learning and becoming, those breathless moments among the blossoms, that is all I remember, all told. What will I remember of today? Do good work, yes. Also, slow down and look around. Many are the gifts each seed and each of us bring to this world. Thank you, Petra. Over time, I have learned to do this, slowing down and looking around, sometimes from other people, but mostly from flowers and trees, birds and squirrels. The flowers and trees, especially the trees, are patient. The birds and squirrels are frenzied in their appetite and preparation. Each of them gives different gifts to the world, as we do. Sometimes we are called to be patient. Sometimes our lives are full of frenzied preparation. The abundance of what we are, of what we become in our human journey, gives us many opportunities to answer both of these calls if we are aware and fortunate enough to hold on to life long enough to learn and see. During a phone call with Reverend Michelle, I amused her with my amazements at the abundance of squirrel holes. The gray squirrel is one of these frenzied critters. They dig and plant and don't recall where they left the last nut or seed. But the holes they leave in the ground leave room for water and for other seeds to be planted and fertilized with some other creature's dung. So life still carries on, and the frenzied squirrel has played a part, even if they run off with the nut still in their mouth. What comes next? Possibly a nut tree like an oak, if that critter planted the acorn deep enough. You see this leaf? It looks like it has acorns on it, but no. What looks like tiny acorns is actually a cluster of tiny wasp homes in disguise. The tree makes them for the wasp, reacting to the injection of its long ovipositor into the rib of the leaf. It's amazing that the mighty oak protects the wasp larva in the same manner it protects its own acorn embryos. It's as if it adopts the wasps and holds them safely until spring. Maybe a raspberry bush will grow in that squirrel hole instead. In our ecology center this spring, I remember being with the Southall Whitney family for a few moments, remarking on how few raspberry bushes were present. Not so this fall. A human named Les was at work all season and last, clearing woody invasive species, and in that process left more open space for the squirrels and birds to spread these fruity plants. In the border along the Faith Development Wing this season, after being disturbed by my planting it, a pair of gigantic bull thistles rose robustly out of the ground as if they belonged there. Our faithful caretaker, Chris, mentioned them to me, and I was very clear that they should be left in place, and that if we were patient, we would see their usefulness. After they flowered and faded, and their seed pods opened, He noticed the finch's adoration of these prickly plant beasts. I wonder who else noticed. Everything that is planted intentionally does not come to fruition, as any gardener can attest to. Some things that aren't planted just do. Yet the abundant frenzy of planting continues in its many accidental and purposeful iterations. And we are fortunate enough to participate by observing these wonders and sometimes by helping them along.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
all
is a
that
gift.
I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Grateful for it
You're the
all.
blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learn every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
All
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all.
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan. But there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
Wait, one more. This is for y'all.
All that I am.
All that I've been.
It's a blessing.
It's so amazing.
I am grateful
For those of us who love books, there is a certain thrill in opening a new book, stepping into a new story, and letting the narrative carry us to new places, adventures, and ideas. Whether the book is physical or virtual, fiction or nonfiction, the magic of the written word activates our imagination and our hunger for stimulating ideas. Along with new books to entice us, there are other books with scribbles in the margins, dog-eared pages, or simply always near the top of our Kindle list. The books we return to again and again for new insights or the comfort of familiar phrases and ideas. I am one who returns to certain books again and again. One such book for me is Robin Wall Kimmerer's Braiding Sweetgrass. Although it was a new book to me just a little over a year ago, I find myself returning to it and its gentle wisdom. The subtitle of the book is Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants, which may sound like a lot of ground to cover, and yet the author, a mother, scientist, decorated professor, and enrolled member of the citizen Potawatomi Nation, weaves her experience with plants, science, and indigenous wisdom like the three strands of a braid of sweetgrass, creating a holistic view of the complexity and beauty of life. As we learned from our Director of Faith Development and gardener par excellence, Angela, when we make room for things to grow, sweet things like raspberry bushes appear. For my husband Les's birthday this month, I made a black raspberry pie from the bush along the side of our driveway at home. Making room for berries brings more sweetness into the world, for us and for the creatures with whom we share this planet. Robin Wall Kimmerer has a special fondness for strawberries and the lessons they teach. This is what she writes. Strawberries first shaped my view of a world full of gifts simply scattered at your feet. A gift comes to you through no action of your own, free, having moved toward you without your beckoning. It is not a reward. You cannot earn it or call it to you or even deserve it. And yet it appears. Your only role is to be open-eyed and present. Gifts exist in a realm of humility and mystery. As with random acts of kindness, we do not know their source. She continues, gifts from the earth or from each other establish a particular relationship, an obligation of sorts to give, to receive, and to reciprocate. She then describes observing how the wild strawberry plants would send out runners to make new plants, and how she participated in that by weeding little patches of bare ground to host the runners that would become the next year's fruits. That small action demonstrates the potential of living in a world of gift, where each living thing, humans included, can respond in relationship to increase the gift, bringing more sweetness into the world. It was in Braiding Sweetgrass that I first encountered the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving address. The Haudenosaunee, of which the Seneca are a part, lived in relationship with the land that we call Western New York. home, long before the white colonizers arrived. The Thanksgiving address reflects not only their gratitude for the abundance of the earth and her many creatures, but their understanding of the reciprocity of life, the world of gift in which all are participants, all freely giving and receiving. I shared the Thanksgiving address with you last November, having obtained not only permission, but the blessing of a Seneca faith keeper to do so. Today, we reenact this litany of gratitude. As we participate in the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving address, listen for the balance of gratitude and responsibility. Each aspect of creation has gifts and areas of accountability. The Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving address.
The people. Today we have gathered and we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and with each other and all living things. So now we bring our minds together as one and we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. Now our minds are one.
The Earth Mother. We are all thankful to our mother, the Earth, for she gives us all that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk about upon her. It gives us joy that she continues to care for us as she has from the beginning of time. To our mother, we send greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one.
The waters. We give thanks to all the waters of the world for quenching our thirst and providing us with strength. Water is life. We know its power in many forms: waterfalls and rain, mists and streams, rivers and oceans. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the spirit of water. Now our minds are one.
The fish. We turn our minds to all the fish in the water. They were instructed to cleanse and purify the water. They also give themselves to us as food. We are grateful that we can still find pure water. So we turn now to the fish and send our greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one.
The plants. Now we turn toward the vast fields of the plant life. As far as the eyes can see, the plants grow, working many wonders. They sustain many life forms. With our minds gathered together, we give thanks and look forward to seeing plant life for many generations to come. Now our minds are one.
The food plants. With one mind, we turn to honor and thank all the food plants we harvest from the garden. Since the beginning of time, the grains, vegetables, beans, and berries have helped the people survive. Many other living things draw strength from them too. We gather all the plant foods together as one and send them a greeting of thanks. Now our minds are one.
The medicine herbs. Now we turn to all the medicine herbs of the world. From the beginning, they were instructed to take away sickness. They're always waiting and ready to heal us. We are happy there are still among us those special few who remember how to use these plants for healing. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the medicines and the keepers of the medicines. Now our minds are one.
The animals. We gather our minds together to send greetings and thanks to all the animal life in the world. They have many things to teach us as people. We are honored by them when they give up their lives so we may use their bodies as food for our people. We see them near our homes and in the deep forests. We are glad they are still here, and we hope that it will always be so. Now our minds are one.
The trees. We now turn our thoughts to the trees. The earth has many families of trees who have their own instructions and uses. Some provide us with shelter and shade. others with fruit, beauty, and other useful things. Many people of the world use a tree as a symbol of peace and strength. With one mind, we greet and thank the tree life. Now our minds are one.
The birds. We put our minds together as one and thank all the birds who move and fly about over our heads. The Creator gave them beautiful songs. Each day, they remind us to enjoy and appreciate life. The eagle was chosen to be their leader. To all the birds, from the smallest to the largest, we send our joyful greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one.
The four winds. We are all thankful to the powers we know as the four winds. We hear their voices in the moving air as they refresh us and purify the air we breathe. They help us to bring us the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing us messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and thanks to the four winds. Now, our minds are one.
The thunderers. Now we turn to the west, where our grandfathers, the thunder beings, live. With lightning and thundering voices, they bring with them the water that renews life. We bring our minds together as one to send greetings and thanks to our grandfathers, the thunderers. Now our minds are one.
The sun. We now send greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day, without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing the light of a new day. He is the source of all the fires of life. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our brother, the sun. Now our minds are one.
Grandmother Moon. We put our minds together to give thanks to our oldest grandmother, the moon, who lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of women all over the world, and she governs the movement of the ocean tides. By her changing face, we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children here on earth. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our grandmother, the moon. Now our minds are one.
The stars. We give thanks to the stars who are spread across the sky like jewelry. We see them in the night, helping the moon to light the darkness and bringing dew to our gardens and growing things. When we travel at night, they guide us home. With our minds gathered together as one, we send greetings and thanks to the stars. Now our minds are one.
The enlightened teachers. We gather our minds to greet and thank the enlightened teachers who have come to help throughout the ages. When we forget how to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to these caring teachers. Now our minds are one.
The Creator. Now we turn our thoughts to the Creator, or Great Spirit, and send greetings and thanks for all the gifts of creation. Everything we need to live a good life is here on this Mother Earth. For all the love that is still around us, we gather our minds together as one and send our choicest words of greetings and thanks to the Creator. Now our minds are one.
We have now arrived at the place where we end our words. Of all things we have named, it was not our intention to leave anything out. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send such greetings and thanks in their own way. Now our minds
are one. At this moment in the life of the earth and the people of our country and the world, I cannot imagine a phrase that is further from our lived experience. I think too often we are afraid of losing our individuality, of being forced into lockstep if we allow our minds to become one. We have blurred the distinction between individuality and individualism. There is a difference. I went to dictionary.com and discovered two primary definitions for individualism: the habit or principle of being independent and self-reliant, and a social theory favoring freedom of action for individuals over collective or state control. That is what I see destroying the planet that gives us life and tearing the social fabric. We cannot survive rampant individualism. We are seeing that played out before our very eyes as we watch the number of cases and deaths rise from the coronavirus. If we can't get a handle on the kind of individualism that basically says, "You can't make me," with regard to wearing masks, maintaining distance, and restricting social interactions, the projections indicate as many as 400,000 Americans dead from the virus by February. Rampant individualism quite possibly could be the death of us. Then I looked up individuality, the quality or character of a particular person or thing that distinguishes them from others of the same kind. Individuality is made up of our personal preferences and characteristics. It is a complicated melange of traits and gifts. In a poll or survey, I may be lumped in with other white women in their late 50s, but that in no way describes who I am as an individual. It is our individuality that makes us shine. It is the gifts and talents we cultivate and share that enrich the world. Now our minds are one is not an authoritarian declaration to force us into lockstep. It is an invitation to harvest gratitude for the magnificent world we have been gifted, to share the abundance that life offers us, and to participate in a world of gift through reciprocity, giving and receiving. At the close of Braiding Sweetgrass, Robin Wall Kimmerer writes, "The moral covenant of reciprocity calls us to honor our responsibilities for all we have been given, for all that we have taken. It's our turn now, long overdue. Let us hold a giveaway for Mother Earth, spread our blankets out for her, and pile them high with gifts of our own making. Imagine the books, the paintings, the poems, the clever machines, the compassionate acts, the transcendent ideas, the perfect tools, the fierce defense of all that has been given. Gifts of mind, hands, heart, voice, and vision, all offered up on behalf of the earth. Whatever our gift, we are called to give it and to dance for the renewal of the world, in return for the privilege of breath. It is my prayer that all the people of the earth learn to give of our gifts in a great dance of reciprocity, with gratitude for the abundance that fills our hearts and lives. As Eugene Pickett wrote, for our human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, we give thanks this day. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. May we have the courage to make it so.
Look at all the work we've done, everybody showing up. Look at how far we've come, everybody building the path of love. Now we thing I'm trying to say is the beating pulse of every day. It's the song I sing and the prayer I pray. It'll lead my path all along the way. It's amazing gratitude. Somebody might fall down and then we go pick 'em up. Holding the hills and found everybody building the path of love. Now we gotta keep walking it. Gotta keep walking it. Road just might get long, but we keep walking on. Because the hold of a hand is strong. Everybody building the path of love. Now we gotta keep walking it. Gotta keep walking it. Who knows where to go? Just keep on the winding path. Which road do you suppose is the path of love? Just keep on walking, riding, loving and fighting. Keep on working, playing, living and dying. The heart of the thing I'm trying to say is the beating pulse of every day. It's the song I sing and the prayer I pray. It'll lead your path all along the way. It's amazing gratitude. Look at all the work we've done, everybody showing up. Look at how far we've come, everybody building the path of love. Now we gotta keep walking it. Oh yeah, we gotta keep walking it. Now we gotta keep walking it. Yes, we gotta keep walking it. We gotta keep walking it.
Thank you for joining us in worship today. Please see the credits at the end of this service for information about the music and other worship elements. And do take a moment to visit our website, uuamherst.org, and click on the giving link, or text your gift to 833-987-1968. We close this time of worship by extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Travel light and travel easy, till I see you once again. Travel light and travel easy, and remember I'm your friend. Life is short, and we do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel with us. So be swift to love and make haste to be kind. Amen.